He failed 4 times before building a chocolate empire intro. He was bankrupt, broke, and a running joke in his own family. After a decade of grinding, all he had to show for it was a mountain of debt and a trail of failures in cities like Philadelphia and New York. Everyone told him to just quit, but a secret he learned hundreds of miles from home, combined with an absolutely unstoppable will to succeed, wouldn't just save him, it would let him build a chocolate empire and become the undisputed king of American candy. This is the story of how Milton Hershey failed his way to the top. Milton S. Hershey was born in rural Pennsylvania in 1857. Back then, a kid like him was pretty much guaranteed a life of hard farm labor. His family life wasn't exactly stable. His father was a dreamer who chased one get-rich-quick scheme after another, moving the family so often that Milton's education was a mess. He never made it past the 4th grade. That lack of schooling made him feel insecure for his whole life, but it also lit a fire in him, a belief in learning by doing. His first shot at a real job was just as rocky. At 14, he became an apprentice to a printer. It was a respectable trade, away off the farm. But Milton was clumsy. His heart wasn't in it, and it just wasn't a fit. He was quickly fired. For most people, a minor setback. But for a young guy with few options, it felt like a monumental failure. It was his first, but it was far from his last. His mother, a practical woman, saw that printing wasn't his path. She got him another apprenticeship, this time with a candy maker in Lancaster. And here, something just clicked. For 4 years, Milton learned how to make candy. He fell in love with the bubbling pots of sugar and the sweet magic of turning simple stuff into confections. He'd found his passion. Armed with 4 years of training and a whole lot of ambition, he decided he was ready to take on the candy world himself. The string of failures. In 1876, at just 19 years old, Hershey packed his bags for Philadelphia. With a small loan from his aunt, he opened his first candy shop. He poured everything into it, working 16-hour days and often sleeping in the back room. He was passionate, sure, but he knew nothing about the brutal reality of running a business. For 6 grueling years, he barely kept the lights on. He was a great candy maker, but a terrible businessman. In 1882, burnt out and buried in debt, his first business collapsed into bankruptcy. Broke, but not beaten, he headed west to Denver, hoping for a fresh start. He couldn't afford his own shop, so he took a job in a caramel factory. And right there, in the middle of his failure, he stumbled upon a secret that would change everything. The candy maker he worked for used fresh milk in his caramels, which gave them a richer, creamier taste than anyone else's. Hershey mentally filed that little trick away for later. His time in Denver didn't last. He tried his luck in Chicago and New Orleans, but couldn't get anything going. So he aimed for the biggest stage of all, New York City. He managed to start another candy business, and for a minute it looked like this might be it. But his success was built on a house of cards. When sugar prices suddenly shot through the roof, his tiny profit margins vanished. His equipment was repossessed, and his second major business crumbled, leaving him more broke than ever before. After more than a decade of non-stop work, Milton Hershey was a serial failure. He crawled back home to Lancaster, Pennsylvania, with absolutely nothing. His own relatives, tired of watching him fail, were hesitant to back him again, seeing him as a lost cause. He'd been fired from his first job and had now failed spectacularly in 2 of America's great cities. By all accounts, his dream was dead. But Hershey still had 2 things: the secret of fresh milk caramels from Denver and a stubborn refusal to give up. He convinced a former employee to partner with him, scraped together some credit, and decided to try one more time. In 1886, the Lancaster Caramel Company was born. He started making his Crystal A caramels using that special fresh milk recipe. The difference was stunning. The caramels were a hit. The first few months were still a fight, but then a stroke of luck changed his life forever. A British candy importer happened to try one of his caramels, was completely blown away, and placed a massive order. That one order was enough to pay off all his debts and secure the financing he needed to grow. The business exploded. What began in a tiny warehouse grew into a massive operation. By the mid-1890s, the Lancaster Caramel Company was shipping its famous caramels all over the world. Milton Hershey, the guy who couldn't catch a break, was finally a millionaire. For anyone else, this would have been the happy ending. For Hershey, it was just the beginning. Section 4. The Pivot to Chocolate. In 1893, Hershey visited the world's Columbian Exposition in Chicago. Among all the dazzling inventions, one exhibit grabbed him, a set of German machines that turned bitter cacao beans into delicious chocolate. Back then, chocolate was a luxury, a treat for the wealthy European elite. But Hershey saw something else. He saw the future. As he famously told a colleague, "Caramels are a fad. Chocolate is permanent." He bought the entire chocolate-making exhibit right there on the spot and had it shipped back to Lancaster. He started small, making chocolate coatings for his caramels, but a much bigger idea was brewing. He wanted to crack the code for milk chocolate, a secret that Swiss chocolatiers guarded fiercely. And more importantly, he wanted to make this luxury product affordable for every single American. So in 1900, he made a move that left the business world speechless. He sold the Lancaster Caramel Company, his first huge success after so many failures, for the shocking sum of $1 million. It was an insane gamble. He was walking away from a guaranteed success to chase a dream no American had ever pulled off: the mass production of milk chocolate. With his $1 million fortune, Hershey went back to where he was born, the rolling fields of Derry Township, Pennsylvania. He knew the area had everything he needed: hard-working people, clean water, and an endless supply of fresh milk from local dairy farms. In 1903, he broke ground on a factory unlike any the world had ever seen. But his real genius wasn't the factory. It was the process he perfected inside it. While the Swiss used powdered milk, Hershey and his team developed what became known as the Hershey process. It was a revolutionary way to use fresh milk that gave his chocolate its distinctive, slightly tangy flavor, and crucially, allowed it to be mass-produced with a long shelf life. He became the Henry Ford of chocolate, turning an artisan luxury into a treat for everyone. The first Hershey's milk chocolate bars had already started selling in 1900 from his old plant, and when the new factory opened in 1905, an empire was truly born. But Hershey didn't just build a factory, he built a town. Remembering his own unstable childhood, he created a model community for his employees with comfortable homes, a public trolley system, good schools, and parks. During the Great Depression, when other companies were laying people off, Hershey launched a massive building campaign, creating jobs by constructing landmarks like the Hotel Hershey and the Hershey Theatre just to keep his people working. Today, more than a century after that first factory broke ground, the Hershey Company is one of the largest chocolate manufacturers in the world. It's a global snacking powerhouse with a market capitalization of roughly $45 billion. The company's annual revenue now exceeds $11 billion. As beyond its iconic Hershey's bars, Kisses, and Reese's peanut butter cups, its portfolio has expanded to over 90 brands, including salty snacks like Skinny Pop and Pirate's Booty. The company's stock, trading under the ticker HSY, has been a story of remarkable long-term growth. An investor who put just $1,000 into the company at its IPO in 1980 would have seen that investment grow to over $760,000. While all stocks experience ups and downs, Hershey has demonstrated incredible staying power, delivering a 10-year total return of over 213% and rewarding shareholders with consistent growth that has often outpaced the broader market. This financial success continues to fuel the powerful legacy Milton Hershey left behind. Milton Hershey and his wife Catherine were never able to have children. So in 1909, they decided to give back in an even bigger way. They founded the Hershey Industrial School, a home and school for orphaned boys. It was the project he loved most. 9 years later, after Catherine's death, Hershey made another secret, incredible decision. He quietly transferred his entire personal fortune, all his stock in the Hershey Chocolate Company, then valued at $60 million, into a trust for the school. Today, that school, now called the Milton Hershey School, is one of the wealthiest in the world. With an endowment valued at over $15 billion, it continues to provide a free world-class education to thousands of children from low-income and at-risk families. Milton Hershey's story isn't really about chocolate, it's about resilience. It's about the fact that failure is never the end of the story, it's part of the education. The man who was fired from his first job, who saw 2 businesses collapse, and who was doubted by his own family, used every bitter lesson to build one of the most iconic brands in history. He didn't just create a candy bar. He built a legacy of generosity that proves true. Success isn't measured by what you keep for yourself, but by what you give to others. If you enjoyed this story of resilience and innovation, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more stories about the entrepreneurs who changed the world. And let us know in the comments which business icon you'd like to see us cover next. Thanks for watching.